The autumn wind carried the scent of damp earth as young Daniel sat beside his father on the wooden bench outside their small countryside home. The old man, his face weathered by time and wisdom, gazed at the horizon, where the sun dipped behind golden fields. At 17, Daniel was restless, eager to leave the slow-paced village for the excitement of the city. He saw his father, William, as just another aging man who had spent his life working the same land, living the same routine. "Dad," Daniel asked, breaking the silence, "why do you stay here? There's nothing left for you. The world is out there, full of opportunities." His father smiled, his deep brown eyes reflecting years of understanding. "Son, you think life is about chasing something far away, but sometimes the greatest lessons are right where you stand." Daniel sighed. He wanted more than a lesson. He wanted action. He wanted success. He wanted to be someone. What he didn't know was that his father had one last gift to give him. One evening, William called Daniel to the old shed behind their house. Inside, he placed 3 objects on a wooden table: a piece of coal, a raw egg, and a lump of clay. "I have 3 tests for you," William said, his voice steady but kind. Daniel raised an eyebrow. "What kind of tests?" "Patience, strength, and understanding." His father handed him the piece of coal. "Squeeze it as hard as you can." Daniel clenched his fist around the coal, pressing with all his strength. His muscles strained, his fingers ached, but nothing happened. "Keep squeezing," his father urged. Minutes passed, and Daniel's hands turned black with dust. Frustrated, he threw the coal on the table. "It's useless," William chuckled. "Exactly. Pressure alone won't turn coal into a diamond. It takes time, years of heat and persistence. Success isn't about force, it's about endurance." Next, he handed Daniel the raw egg. "Hold this carefully and squeeze, just a little." Daniel applied slight pressure, and the shell cracked instantly, yolk dripping through his fingers. He groaned. What was the point of that? His father wiped the egg off Daniel's hand with a cloth. "Strength isn't just about force, it's about control. If you don't know when to be gentle, you'll break the very things you hold dear." Finally, William gave him the lump of clay. "Shape this into something meaningful." Daniel hesitated but started molding it with his fingers. At first it was awkward, but slowly it took the shape of a small bowl. "Clay is like life, son," William said. "It's not perfect when you begin, but if you work with it patiently, it becomes something valuable." Daniel looked at his hands, one stained with coal, one sticky with egg, and the other molding clay. He didn't say anything, but something inside him shifted. Winter came early that year. The once strong and sturdy William started moving slower, his breath shorter, his hands trembling. Daniel noticed the change, but he avoided talking about it. One evening, as snowflakes dusted the window, his father called him to his bedside. "I have one last task for you," William said weakly. "Take this envelope and open it after I'm gone." Daniel felt a lump in his throat. "Don't talk like that, Dad. You'll be fine." William smiled, but they both knew the truth. Days later, the house felt emptier than ever. The man who had always been his guide, his anchor, was gone. Daniel sat alone in his father's chair, staring at the envelope. Hands shaking, he opened it. Inside was a single piece of paper with 3 words: "Go to the mountain." Following his father's final request, Daniel packed a bag and set off toward the old mountain just outside their village. The climb was harder than he expected: steep paths, cold winds, and his legs aching with each step. Halfway up, he wanted to turn back. "What's the point?" he muttered, but something in him whispered, "Keep going." After hours of struggle, Daniel reached the top where a single oak tree stood, its roots gripping the rocky earth. A small wooden box lay beneath it, with his father's handwriting on top. With trembling hands, he opened it. Inside was a letter. "Daniel, life is like this climb. There will be times when you want to give up, when everything feels too hard. But remember, greatness isn't found at the bottom of the mountain. It's earned with every step. The coal taught you patience, the egg taught you strength, the clay taught you to shape your own future. This journey, this moment, is my last gift to you. Don't just chase success. Build something meaningful, something that lasts. And no matter how far you go, never forget where you came from. With love, Dad. Tears streamed down Daniel's face as he folded the letter. He sat beneath the oak tree, looking at the world below. For the first time, he understood. His father hadn't just left him words. He had given him wisdom, a lesson that would guide him for the rest of his life. And as the wind whispered through the trees, Daniel knew his father was still with him, always.